So we're already talking about business, which is something that you are passionate about. What advice would you give to upcoming entrepreneurs?
So I had dinner with one of my really good friends, Bunyamin Taskapin. He's a trust attorney, to say the least. He runs people who are mega wealthy, their trust. And when I was first starting out my business in law school, I started my first company at the end of law school, my third year. He told me that I should take the bar. He told me I should take the bar, that I should have something in my backup plan. And I did not listen to him. I said, no, I'm passionate about this. I'm going to continue doing this. I don't need to take the bar. So I did it. A year and 2 years later, essentially making no money, figuring it out, I had realized that he was right. He was right. And so one of the biggest things I tell people, the big lessons from that, don't quit your day job, right? Keep cash coming in. I think many people are sold the story that we have to quit our job and just jump into it head first. And I would actually say that most people should transition into entrepreneurship. It should be something that they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours after work, before work, on the weekends as well. And then as they build up the clientele and the cash flow, one, they can either hire out and expand, which is what I would suggest, or they can go into it full time when they have the cash to cover the expenses plus grow the business. So that's my biggest suggestion to entrepreneurs is keeping your day job. Don't think you're less of an entrepreneur because you're doing something that keeps paying the bills. That's actually a key part of the process to actually succeed in this.
There's so much pressure, on social media. Everybody, you've just pointed it out. I left corporate after these many years and I just jumped into my business and it's so successful. And this is the story that we are sold. And for some of us that are starting out, it's like, what am I doing? I'm glad that you mentioned that because there's a lot of feelings out there. There's so many people that are starting out and I'm in the community with them. And we always asking each other, it's like, when is the cutting point as to when do you feel ready as to, okay, I can leave my corporate job now and work full time on my business?
I think it's something I'm also going to highlight and talk about because I usually talk about this on the side or sometimes when I'm on stage. But because entrepreneurship was romanticized so much, people have this notion that they're failures when they're actually just going through the process, right, of being an entrepreneur. And it's mostly downs. The ups are amazing, but when you're starting off, usually it's mostly downs. And I actually am more worried about people who succeed early because sometimes it builds in bad habits, right? Okay. We all can get lucky. Don't get me wrong. I want you all to succeed. I want everyone to do really well, but we all can get full of bad habits if we're not doing the right things. We don't have the right systems in place. We don't have the right people in place. We don't have financial management tools, etc. And you just see this big influx of orders or cash, and then you don't build the right type of discipline. So when the hard times come, the business collapsed. Failure is part of the process for the vast majority of people. All right. And that's okay.
A lot of people do take failure to be something that's really hard to come out of. What are the lessons you really truly learn from failure? Like no one really tells you about the stress of managing a business, the cash flow management, the employees, if you even have any, and then managing yourself and just everything about business itself, the sleepless nights of calculating what you're going to do tomorrow, strategizing, all of that. The effects of it. I actually recently talked about it, but I would love to hear from you who's been doing it for a while.
I think those are great points. And stress is one of the biggest ones. I think as we were starting this conversation, I said that I'm in Jamaica right now. I've been working. This is the part people don't see, right? You're working 70 to 90 hours per week. And my business friends have been telling me, hey, I think you should take a break because they see what's going on. And I think you should. And I couldn't. For the last 2-3 weekends, I couldn't take a break. So I finally said, you know what? I'm going to come out here, try to shut down for a few days and reset. But what you can do regarding stress, and this is why I keep on hearing it's part of the process. So while I read a lot, and one of the things that I love to read is books, autobiographies or biographies of successful entrepreneurs. And what you'll see after reading their stories, you'll see really a timeline of failure, right? And you'll see so many times that they were almost at the bankruptcy. From SpaceX with Elon Musk to so many other people who went through it. You see, that's actually the real story. Like there's a romanticized part and we celebrate people. Steve Jobs, people don't realize when Steve Jobs came back to Apple, they were a few days away from bankruptcy. So, and now Apple's the largest company in the world in terms of revenue in some ways. So understanding that and seeing, especially the super successful ones, saying, hey, that was part of their story too. That can de-stress you a bit, but this goes back to my first statement about make sure you keep your day job so you really have this running well. Okay. So, and don't burn bridges. Do not burn bridges. Don't say, hey, I'm leaving this job. I'm never coming back. You never know. Actually, a second thing, humility. One of my biggest issues with my first business, I could not ask for help. I was like, hey, I'm this attorney who does strategic advising. I can't seem to be someone who doesn't know everything, right? I have to be perceived as someone who has all the answers all the time. And that was, I think, one of the key reasons for my failure of my first business. So being humble and being able to say, hey, I don't know this. While you're working really hard to figure out the answers on your own, that's going to, and being open to accepting other people's help is going to take you far. So that's something I would say, because a lot of people are rooting for you. Some people aren't. That's the truth. A lot of people are rooting for you, and that humanizes you a bit.